They certainly have. So Jack Beaumont in that first British crew in lane 1 has already rowed once today, subbing into the quad. But the crew to watch is probably the Croatians, who'll be in the centre of the crew. So there you see Jack Beaumont and Nick Middleton. Did well to make this final yesterday. Real tough race to get in there. This is the number 1 boat. Walton and Collins, both Johns. John and Jonathan. Haven't really had the start they wanted to the Olympic year, and now it's Lucerne. It's really time to start performing. Hacker and Kruger ended up in 4th place in 2015, and I think they believe they're better than that. I believe they're better than that, that they'll be wanting to get in the medals for the Olympic Games. These are the men to beat, the Sinkovic brothers, Martin and Valent. World champions in 2014 and 2015. The New Zealanders, Manson and Harris. Bronze in 2015. Then we got the Lithuanians, Masčinskis and Ritter, who were silver at the World Championships last year. Found themselves on the outside lane here. Got a lot to do from lane 6 there. See if we can get a medal from that lane today.
I reckon they're the ones to do it, you know, the Lithuanians, if anyone's going to do it.
Well, the conditions are fantastic today, but it goes with the seeding normally, and the medals come from the centre of the course.
It's interesting, there's a bit of a crosswind coming across from the side of lane 1, so I don't know if they might get a bit more wind in lane 6.
Yeah, who knows what's going to happen, but it's a great start as we have a look here at the Sinkovic brothers.
Look at that stern, Greg, up at 48 strokes a minute.
It's just so smooth, isn't it, with the stern up out of the water. It doesn't go backwards at all. When the boys change direction, the stern just keeps coming. That's what good rowing looks like. And good sculling for those who like to think of sculling as an art form in itself, as opposed to rowing, which is just pulling a stick.
Stefan Kruger there, the German double, the stroke man. He's on the right of the picture, just in the first yellow boat you can see closest to you. He's really putting it down there, and Hacker, the bowman behind him, very strong and going head-to-head with the Croatians. This is what we like to see.
Yeah, I think we're going to be in for a good one here, Martin, as we look at Manson and Harris, the New Zealand double. Look a bit lower in their bodies, and now we look at the Croatians, who really are the masters of this event. They managed to go under 6 minutes. I remember we were watching that race in Amsterdam. Under 6 minutes in a double, just imagine what that's like. And then look here, we've got Marcel Hacker, who used to row the single.
Did you race him, Greg?
I did race him back in 1999. I think he fell in after the race, but unfortunately he'd already crossed the line ahead of me.
So the New Zealanders are having a fantastic race, so competitive there, just the New Zealand quad not managing to make the Olympic qualification at the regatta last week, but those two men, Manson and Harris, have just sculled a fantastic first quarter, and for them to lead the Croatians, they will be absolutely pleased as punch with that result. They weren't so quick out in the heat.
Well, it's a change of tactics, isn't it, from a New Zealand crew to see the New Zealand crew leading through 500.
Yeah, well, I wonder what their coach Calvin Ferguson has said to them, or if that's in the plan.
Well, he's the man who coached the double that won the Olympic Games in 2012, and they had an outrageous last 500.
They did, but the New Zealanders, you can see them at 38 strokes a minute, much higher than the Croatians. It's a completely different style. And if you think they're going to run out of beans or run out of juice, that's not going to happen. The Croatians haven't been led by this much, this far into the race, I think, probably ever. I can't remember the time when the Croatians were led at this point of the race. And
your call, Martin, is the New Zealanders won't blow. The New Zealanders will keep going.
Yeah, that was my call, actually, but I'm kind of wondering about it now because, I mean, the Croatians are so fast.
Well, the Croatians look so relaxed, don't they, with those arms getting up and getting locked in. I can't help thinking there's a bit of lactate going into the New Zealanders' arms as they get the blades locked in there.
Yeah.
And they're going to pay for that.
Well, I'll tell you what, if they do go, they're going to go in a big way, Greg.
Yeah.
So the Croatians, they're quite upright as they come out to the front, aren't they? There's not a lot of body swing off the back, and they get all their length just from sliding right up there. Nice and relaxed.
But here we go, coming out through halfway. New Zealand still have the lead ahead of Croatia, and then it's pretty tight then. As you say, this Lithuanian double down in front of us, doing their best to keep with the pace. There's the Germans who are actually in second, and the Britain double right in there as well.
See the bank stream, the sponsors of New Zealand rowing, and there is the stroke man, Chris Harris, behind him, the tall man, Robbie Manson, such a character in the world of rowing, amazing fighter, been through so much in his life, and now this will be one of those experiences, still ahead of the Croatians, and I think there'll be a few looks round if the Croatians don't get through. The Germans back there, I think, in third place, and then the British double, Collins and Walton, just on the above them, the British double probably having the scull of their lives. Very disappointing Europeans for them.
Yeah, and great to get that shot of the German double there, and now we're going to have a look into Collins and Walton, the British #1 boat. They really do move well together, I think. Don't know if they might just lack a little bit of power compared to the competitors they're up against. But they want to be challenging. But have a look up here at the front. The Croatians have just squeezed their way through. New Zealanders are going to hold on to them. I think we're going to see Croatia continue to move away as we get here to about the last 600 metres. New Zealand will try to hang on.
They haven't gone though, have they, New Zealanders? I mean, the Croatians have had a big move. Look at the pain on their faces. You don't normally see that. The big stroke man, Valent Sinkovic, in the stern of the boat. Behind him his brother Martin, and the New Zealanders have not cracked. They're going away from the field behind them, Greg.
Certainly not cracked, no. When you looked at those Croatian faces, they were a picture of focus for me. Looking straight down the boat, they weren't going to look out of the side. They knew what they're doing. They're moving their boat from the start to the finish as quickly as they can. Anyone else can throw whatever they want at them. They're focused in the boat, and now they've started to move, I think.
8 metres in front, the Croatians, and the New Zealanders right now, the lactic acid, that's what's created when you go so hard. Your muscles create this thing called lactic acid. It makes the legs burn, the legs ache, every muscle in your body. Will they have what it takes to hold on to the Germans?
Well, so we see from that stat now that the Croatians are the fastest on the course, and New Zealand is still going quickly, but I think the German double are going to look to come back at them. Marcel Hacker in the bow seat, Kruger in the stroke seat. Stefan Kruger will look to pick up the pace as they come into the red buoys. We've got a nice shot here of this Lithuanian double. Will they manage to get onto the podium from lane 6?
Rolandis Maščinskas there looking across, silver medalist from the Worlds last year. The New Zealanders still with a slight overlap, but Croatians extending that. Look at the white bows of the Filippi boat. They're the Lithuanians.
But we see the Croatians here coming up. There's probably only about 15 strokes left to get them to the finish line. The New Zealanders are looking to hang in there. There's a lot of pain. There's gritted teeth trying to hang on as they come down here. But the Lithuanians are coming back strongly. You can't see them in your picture, but I promise you they're there. It's going to be Croatia for the gold. It's going to be New Zealand silver, and it's Lithuania who are going to get through for that bronze medal. And then the Germans into 4th.
Wow, what a race that was. I mean, I didn't think I'd see the Croatians put under that much pressure in this race.
No, what an interesting one that was. We expect to see them dominate, but the crews that normally dominate haven't dominated today.
No, they haven't, which is what makes this a fantastic sport. And I didn't expect the New Zealanders to show a race profile like that. They never cracked, but they just were so brave.
Experimenting with different things. And Martin, what a great call from you that the Lithuanian double could be the first medal we get from an outside lane. And it was that outside lane #6, which you don't get to see them very often. So apologies for anyone who was looking out for the Lithuanian double. They were there the whole time, and they came through at the end to grab that bronze medal.
I think they're going to have to look out for the American 8, men's 8, who are also in lane 6, you know, Greg.
Yeah.
That could be a definite possibility there, but let's wait and see.
So there they are, Maščinskas and Ritter turning the double around.
96% of world's best time. The percentages are up again. Little breath of tailwind, so wind conditions have changed on the lake. And, well, way back in the morning, the first race, the women's pair won by the USA were 96.38%, and the men's doubles are, if not quite on that standard, world's best time just under 6 minutes, 5:59. They're pretty close to it at 96.17. But these boys, for me, that was the outstanding thing of this race. The New Zealanders, the way they took the race on, led at 500, led at 1,000. Didn't really relinquish the lead until well into the third quarter, and Croatia know that the Olympic medal will not be theirs on a plate.
So there we see confirmation, the men's double is Croatia ahead of New Zealand and Lithuania, and that German double squeezed back into 4th place.